Today's learning target is I can use words to write equations. Today we're going to be looking at how we can change words into symbols in math. And if you remember yesterday, we said anytime we see the word of, that's going to mean we multiply something. Today we're also going to come across the word is. And is, anytime we see it in math, is going to mean equals. Now don't forget we have the keywords in math poster hanging up, so if you forget these, make sure you check that poster. In today's lesson, we're going to be given sentences, and what we want to do is we want to look for keywords in those sentences that can help us write equations from them. So in this case, I see what number is. Now I remember is means equals. So what number is 12% of? There's another keyword, and we know that of means times. So now once we've done this, we can write an equation here. So I see what number. Alright, so in that case, I don't know the number. I'm going to use the variable n to represent that. And now we have is, and I know that is equals 12%. I'm just going to write that out. So 12% of, okay, of means times 150. And so I have now written this sentence as an equation. And now I'm ready to solve this equation. So I know that 12%, okay, in the last lesson we talked about how we want to change that to either a decimal or a fraction. And I'm going to change that to a decimal. I can do that pretty easily. I know I moved the decimal 2 places to the left. So 12% written as a decimal is 12 hundredths. I could write it as a fraction, and if I wanted to, I could do 12 hundredths, just like I did last lesson as well. Of means times 150. Okay, and now I can calculate that. Remember, you can use a calculator for this lesson. And when I do that, I'm going to find that n equals 18. So now I can look at this, and so what number, so the number that I'm looking for would be 18. So 18 is 12% of 150. So here I'm given a sentence that looks a little different, but I'm going to solve it the same way. So I'm going to look for my key words. So 21 is, there's the word is, I know it means equals. What percent, okay, there's going to be my variable, of is times 40. So let's write this one out now. So we have 21 is, means equals, and now we have what percent. So it's not just a number, it's a percent. So to do that, if I wanted to know what percent, I could do n per 100, because that makes it a percent, right? Percent means per 100. So now we've done 21 is the equal what percent, and here I've shown that what per 100, and then we have of, which is times 40. So we've written it out like that. And now we're ready to solve our equation right here. Now remember, our goal is to figure out what the value of n is, right? So we want to solve for n. So that means we're going to first want to cancel out anything that's not attached to the n. Okay, so here we see a times 40. We want to get rid of this. We want to cancel it out. Remember, to cancel it out, I can do the opposite of this. So this is timesing by 40. So the opposite of timesing is dividing. So I could divide this by 40. Okay, so if I do that, now I've canceled it out. Alright, and remember, to keep it equal, I have to do the same thing to this side. So I divided by 40 over here, so I'm going to divide by 40 over here. Okay, now what you see is I've turned it into a fraction. And we know fractions are just like division problems. So I have 21 over 40, or 21 divided by 40, is equal to n over 100. And now I could solve this one of two ways. Okay, one way is I could use my cross products here. Right? So I could say 40n is going to equal this times this, 21 times 100. So if I did those cross products, it would be set up like this, right? I would do 21 times 100 is 2100 is equal to 40 times n, and then I could solve for n. The other way I could look at this is I could just say I'm looking to solve for n. This is n divided by 100. And if I want to cancel out this divided by 100, I would do the opposite. So the opposite of dividing is timesing. So I could times this by 100, right? And I know that would cancel out. So if I do it to one side, I would have to do it to the other side here. And I would set up my problem like this. Okay? So it would be 100 over 1 times 21 over 40. And when I multiplied these across, I got 2100 over 40, or divided by 40. And you notice over here to the right, if I did the butterfly method, I ended up getting the same problem that I'd have to solve, 2100 divided by 40. And if I do that, I get 52.5, or 52 and 5/10. All right, we're going to do one more here. We have 13 is 26% of what number? And you can see here that I have already found my keywords. And once I can do that, I can write out my equation like I've done here. Now, first thing I'm going to want to do is let's change this percent right here to either a fraction or a decimal. And I'm going to turn it to a decimal. I could certainly turn it to a fraction, but to me that's easy. So I have 26 hundredths is how I would write 26% as a fraction, and that's times n, and that's going to equal 13. Now when I'm solving equations, I want to get the variable by itself so I can figure out what it equals. So this is 26 hundredths times n. So to cancel out that 26 hundredths, I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to divide by 26 hundredths. And I know if I do it to one side, if I want to keep it equal, I have to do it to the other side. So now that cancels out, and I'm left with n equals 13 divided by 26 hundredths. And when I solve that on my calculator, I can see that I get n is equal to 50.